I believe men are supposed to chase a woman, date her, spoil her, respect and adore her, and love her more. Anything outside of that is just weird.
Just need to know from a men's perspective, are y'all waiting on girls to talk to you first?
Some women are like, yo, what happened to men? Like, none of them approach us anymore. Like, and I'm not gonna go approach a man. Like, this, what the fuck happened? Like, how are we supposed to date? They don't approach you because women have made it so fucking difficult for guys.
Stop! Y'all gotta check this out.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort?
Welcome to Masculine Dow.
Another update on the Trying to Find a Man in the Wild series featuring Jess. Public parks. The men are out here. They're playing spike ball. They're having boys picnics, which is like a girl dinner, but with cute boys. And I think that if a group of girls went to a cute park and there was a cute group of guys, you'd have a very, very strong success rate. Also, we are at a park in Seattle.
I believe men are supposed to chase a woman, date her, spoil her, respect and adore her, and love her more. Anything outside of that is just weird.
Results may vary. If only life was that easy. Doing all what she says guarantees you nothing. Literally nothing. But in reality, she doesn't understand the flip side that us men have to deal with. You can be doing all of that and still not have a happy, successful relationship or a marriage. Chasing a woman is not the way to go. That's why there's so many simps and they're unable to get a girlfriend and a wife. Sometimes you'll see women always happy, but a man always stressed because of situations like that. Do I think you should look after your woman? Absolutely, absolutely. But this one-sided conversation needs to stop. There's two people in the relationship, so let's account for what the man wants as well.
Some women are like, yo, what happened to men? Like, none of them approach us anymore. Like, and I'm not gonna go approach a man. Like, this, what the fuck happened? Like, how are we supposed to date? They don't approach you because women have made it so fucking difficult for guys. Where if a guy even says, wow, you're so beautiful, you look very beautiful today, they'll literally look at him and be like, ew. Who the fuck wants to deal with this? Who? No one. That's why nobody's fucking approaching your ass. Okay? No one. Like, I've seen it. I fucking seen it. It's with women just being like, ew. And it's like, yo, you could literally be like, you know what? No, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm flattered. And if they don't leave you alone, just keep it walking. Keep it moving. Keep it fucking moving. You don't gotta be a fucking bitch. You really don't. And that's why guys don't approach women anymore. That's literally why.
This is why code approaching is fading. Men adapted to the modern dating market, the decline of courtship. Instead of risking humiliation for a maybe, they protect their frame, focus on themselves, and let genuine reciprocity do the
Stop! Y'all gotta check this out.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort?
When women decided they was too independent to need a man.
It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him.
After they've been rejected so many times, but not being able to pay for somebody's life.
That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore, don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more for it to work in the long haul.
But shouldn't they like each other a lot?
So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you. And when did that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first.
But if a guy does that today, he will be called a creep, a perv, or maybe even put in jail.
How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance, and my mom was like, get out of here. She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gotten married, they would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her on a date so badly. He was like, what do I have to do to take you out on a date? She was working late their first date, so he went to her work, picked her up, prepped a dinner, took her to a park, just planned the whole thing. He wrote her poetry. He was yearning.
Today's women don't want that. They want what they see on the internet. Fake ass relationship goals and materialistic stuff.
Okay, so I be seeing a lot of women saying nowadays, like, men don't really chase women like they used to. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Men not like they used to be. And it's like, nowadays, a lot of women ain't nothing to chase. Back in our grandma day and back in the day when women were provided for and when women were taken care of, a man actually had to put in a certain kind of work to get certain benefits from women. They had to marry a woman to have a baby with her. They had to marry her to get her in the house cooking and cleaning. Nowadays, women give a man everything for the bare minimum. Like, these men had to go to the strip clubs to see a girl undressed. Nowadays, women just do it for free just because they feel like they can. It's like women need to pick a lane. Like, you cannot be a 304 and a housewife. Y'all be talking about how y'all want to get tricked on and y'all don't care what men think, but then in the same breath, y'all talk about how y'all want to be taken care of and y'all want to be provided for. Like, y'all delusional. Like, y'all part of the problem. Like, men change because women change. Like, y'all not like y'all was.
Regardless whether you agree with every point or not, one thing is true: incentives change when commitment and exclusivity are no longer required up front. A lot of men stop seeing the value in traditional courtship.
Stop chasing women. Now listen up and listen very carefully. Number one, he got what he wanted way too soon, okay? And that goes with physical and that goes with emotional, okay? Maybe you said something, or maybe you gave him something, a part of you, okay? You know where I'm getting at. And he doesn't have any mystery anymore. He doesn't need to try anymore. Number two, he forgets what makes you great. Now, this happens in a lot of the times when you're long distance after just kind of starting to talk. He forgets that feeling that he had when he was with you. He forgets what made you amazing, what made you the one of interest to him. Number three, you went way too hard, way too fast, okay? If you're saying too much, if you're doing too much, if you're giving in too much, if you're doing his laundry, if you're cleaning his house, that's way too much. It's gonna scare him off. And that kind of explains number four.
Look, men don't always stop chasing because they got what they wanted. Many stop because their effort isn't being reciprocated in modern dating. If their energy feels one-sided, high-value men simply exit instead of forcing attraction.
He doesn't have to put in any effort anymore because you're literally doing it all for him. And it's kind of an ick when you're trying way too hard in the beginning. Number five is very sad, okay? It became easy. And he got very, very bored. You didn't insist that you needed flowers or dinner or affection or physical touch or anything or reassurance. You were just way too easy for him. And he's quite literally bored and on to the next. And last but not least, you're being too nice. Men, unfortunately, love bitches. Okay, they love them. You need to be a little bit bitchy to him. You need to give him a little, you know, that like fierceness out of you. You need to give that to him, okay? Because if you're too nice, he's gonna run. So let's not lose him, okay? Let's make him chase you again.
Are saying be difficult, so he stays interested. Most men aren't leaving because she was too nice. They leave when the connection isn't there.
From a men's perspective, are y'all waiting on girls to talk to you first? Like, are you waiting on a girl?
So most men don't approach women. This is a misconception. There's a group of men, small group of men, that approach women. And if they're approaching you, they're approaching every woman. They don't have social anxiety, they don't understand social cues, and they don't read the room, right? These guys oftentimes are even unhinged. These are the guys that will approach women and you'll hear about the terrible, unpleasant experience that the women have had with these types of men. Now, I'm not saying that all men in that group are unhinged. I'm saying quite a lot of them are. And even if they aren't unhinged, oftentimes that group of guys are the ones that can't take no for an answer. Now, the majority of men oftentimes aren't approaching women. Anytime that you're out strolling on the street or at a nightclub, wherever you may be, if you tally up the amount of men that don't pay you any mind at all to the guys that actually approach you, the guys that approach you will always be the minority. So the majority of men weren't approaching, haven't been approaching anyway, right?
I was speaking to my mum about dating, and because I'm out a lot for work and things like that and I love to socialize, she was like, oh, like, have you met anyone out? And I'm like, well, I will see a guy that, say, like, I've texted or like met online or have mutuals with, and he will like look at me and then turn away and then message saying like, hey, you looked gorgeous today. And that's like a universal experience for every girl. Like, guys will just text you later on. And mum's like, what the fuck? Like, if mum's like, when I would go out if a guy was interested, he'd straight up go, like, hey, I'm interested in you, like, whatever, what's your number? And if you liked him, you'd give him your real one. If you didn't, you'd change one digit. That's what she said to me. My mum did make a point that I go for socially awkward private school boys that don't know how to talk to girls because I went to single sex schools, so that's a big factor too. But like, I took it upon myself to call my guy friend and literally ask for the answers. I'm like, just tell me, like, what is stopping guys from just like approaching girls naturally and not like sleazy, just like literally for a conversation? Because guys at like
Modern dating paradox. Women ask where the confident approaches went, but years of mixed signals taught men to minimize risk. Today, protecting your peace often beats gambling on a cold approach.
Reap the benefits anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be a sleaze to like pull a girl in the first place. My guy friend said unless a girl is like making it that obvious, like at a pub for example, that she's into him, he's like, she has to fully be like waving at me for me to think to go over. And he said that rejection just isn't worth it these days because that girls like have higher standards of men, so guys genuinely feel like they just aren't good enough and to go up and introduce themselves. And I'm like, that's actually kind of sad because I do feel like girls are getting judgier, but I also feel like boys are the same. And I think it goes down to dating apps and social media, obviously. But dating apps is like shopping, like no, yes, no. So it's like people are getting pickier, but yeah, it's like people don't know how to socialize anymore. And
Notice how even her guy admits rejection isn't the only issue. It's the social cost between unrealistic standards, endless options, and the attention economy. More men are choosing self-respect over chasing someone who's only half interested.
Or on TikTok, a card game that someone invented called We Met at a Bar. I don't know if you've seen it, but it actually looks like a cool idea. And they should collab with different pubs in Melbourne and just like have the card game sitting at like different tables or something. I feel like that'd be so good. Pretty much, I think it was like they had like different not dares, but like, I don't know, you have to look it up, but it's called We Met at a Bar, and like it like introduces conversation. Like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I just feel like there's got to be a way to just like improve everything about the dating culture, otherwise we're doomed.
Instead of telling men to just approach people, are creating systems to make it feel safe again. That alone proves the old dating script broke down and men didn't walk away for no reason.
He's proud to say that he has never approached a woman.
Okay, so what exactly is wrong with that?
I honestly was not expecting this. I seem to have collected all of the incels in my comment.
Because they've never voluntarily approached a woman, that automatically makes them an incel? I don't think they know what the definition of an incel actually is.
Guys, welcome, but this is not a safe space for you.
And I could say the very same thing.
784 people liked this comment. What the fuck is going on? Almost 800 men sat there, liked this, and said, yeah, same.
I keep telling a lot of those ladies out there that some men are simply not interested in dating. Yet somehow some of you find that really hard to believe.
As if this is something to be proud of.
Oh, I wonder how they're going to try to shame men for their choices today.
The male loneliness epidemic, honestly, is not bad enough. And you've only got yourself to blame for this.
What? How exactly does that make sense in context with that statement?
I made a video that went viral about respectfully approaching a woman on the street, as one does when you want to meet someone new. Got 100,000 views and thousands of incels in the comments.
As someone in The Princess Bride once said, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Some of the comments went like, I don't want to be arrested. How do you approach a woman that you're scared to be arrested? I think that's a you problem.
They're just listening to the thousands of women that have told men to leave them alone. So why would they approach?
Proudly never approached anyone. Yikes.
What's with the yikes? Another word that I don't think they know what it means. Because if a man chooses not to approach a woman, that means he's choosing not to be in a relationship with anyone or even attempt to be. And yeah, that does not make them an incel. Try looking up the definition of words before using them.
We are losing men to peace. We are losing men to ourselves. Men no longer prioritize women. The man at peace is an unbuyable man. Some women are still thinking that men are in that scenario of chasing after, calling, despairing. For the lack of a woman for her absence, when in reality, today's man, he is increasingly valued. He understood that a woman is not the center of his life, that a woman is not the most important thing in the world. It is perfectly possible to live without one. Today's high value man, he seeks to make money. He seeks to do business. He seeks to grow, to develop himself. He removed women from his focus. Today's man, he realized that his peace is worth more. There is no relationship that can buy his peace. Today's man, he is unbuyable. He is non-negotiable. The peace he chose for his life has become non-negotiable. If you are a woman and are waiting for a man to venerate you, a man to idolize you, a man to dote on you, I'm very sorry, but perhaps that won't happen, because the more time passes, the more we have seen that today's generation of men is not like the generation of old, and it is we women who have been losing high-value men, serious men, hard-working men, dedicated.
That's the biggest shift in modern dating. More men have realized peace, purposing financial growth bring more fulfillment than chasing constant validation. Once a man values his peace, becomes much harder to manipulate.
Are not chasing y'all anymore in this 2026. Best believe a lot of men now have their physical and mentally and financial stability to the max. So if you guys want to play games and make him chase you and shit like that, nah, they ain't doing that anymore. They will replace you quick. So if you like a guy and he meets your standards in whatsoever way you know how to balance it with him, work with him, because he will not chase you. Ladies, do not be wasting time. You like the guy, he likes you, he treats you good, and you want to treat him good as well, go for it. Don't make him trying to chase you, man. Like, that's long, bro. The fuck? Like,
I want to ask you a question. Yeah. Why do you think in today's society guys don't approach girls anymore?
They're soft.
They
literally
are.
went soft. They're scared of rejection. And it's like, it's so mind-boggling to me how beta men have become. Like, they don't go after it in their careers. They don't go after it, like, in relationships anymore. And it's like, it's like men used to go to war.
Yeah.
Now they can't even like go up to a girl at a coffee shop or like the street. Like they want the girls to come to them. It's like
that's not how it works.
To me, yeah.
Always fortune rewards the bold, and if you're not bold and you're not gonna go for it, then what are you doing?
No, facts.
So how would you bring that back? What movement would you build to bring guys back and go approach girls just on the streets and say hi?
Yeah. Well, the movement I'm building is like to girls to empower them to almost like reject that like energy, to where it's like you should be making your own money and investing in yourself, to where if a guy doesn't approach you, you're like turned off by it because you already do it yourself. So it's like I'm starting the movement of like the girls on the receiving end to like reject that energy in order to like get the guys in check themselves.
Well done.
Yeah.
With that,
I had a woman disagree with me on my predictions of 2026 dating, which was the era of yearning is back. And she goes, Tiana, I just don't think that that's going to happen because men just don't yearn over women in the way that they used to. And the interesting thing about this is the reason why men don't yearn over women is because women now, more than ever, have been tolerating disrespectful behavior, but staying. Not saying anything and staying. Putting up with it, not speaking up with the things that they don't like, allowing behavior regardless of how they feel about it because they want to stay with that man. Now, this is why women all over are struggling with the general population of dating, or the general population of men, is because men have been conditioned through what women allow, that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. And granted, this is not about control. You're not supposed to control your partner. It's actually an equal give or take, and it's supposed to be respectful both ways. But if you want the era of yearning to come back and you want men to start treating you more respectfully, every single one of us as women have a responsibility to not allow disrespect, because we raise the collective consciousness of what women believe they are worthy of, and the level of respect that we believe that we deserve when it comes to receiving a partner. Because think about it, if the man who dates 5 women, right, 4 of those women don't allow that bullshit, amazing. Now the standard has been raised and he knows he has to show up differently. But if it's 3 or 4 women out of 5 that are allowing disrespect, that 5th woman is going to cop that same amount of disrespect. So it's our responsibility as women to not allow disrespect so that we can then call in better behavior from partners. And the same thing goes for women with the men who allow.
Reciprocity is the new standard.
Welcome to episode 1 of Dating in the Wild, aka not on a dating app. I saw this from a girl on TikTok. I think her name's Mackenzie, and she did this in Dallas. And I think it would be such a good idea to try and find my husband not on a dating app. So this is episode 1, and we are going to walk through Uptown and see if I can find anybody. Walking past the baseball stadium, that'd be a good spot to try and go see if there's people there at a game. Walking around, still no luck. There's a lot of people around us, so it's actually really not good filming. Wish I could find my husband here. No luck, but it was still fun to walk around and see if I can find my husband. So stay tuned for episode number 2.
It's on their own live shabby sand routines. When men stop chasing, suddenly everyone starts wondering where they went.
You approach him with a relationship and you're just like, hey, what are we doing? Are you ever going to make a commitment? And he's like, I can't give you what you need. I can't give you that right now, but I don't want to hold you back. If you need to go out and find somebody for you, I'm cool with that. So you like, bet. Alright, let's cut this off. And then he goes, no, that's not what I wanted. I mean, we could still talk and be cool, right? Sound familiar? Hi, my name is Tasia. I'm a confidence and dating coach, and I teach women how to control their emotions so that their emotions don't control them, okay? I pray that you've been on this page long enough so that you're not thinking like, oh, he's fighting for me. He doesn't want this to end. He really does like me and want to be with me. No, sweetheart. He's trying to see if you're dumb enough to accept the lower wager. He's trying to see if you're dumb enough to accept the lower wager, okay? And the moment that you do, the moment that you continue talking to him and rolling around with him and getting into that man's bed, all right, is the moment that you'll never get a higher wager ever again. So what should you do, you say? I'm glad you asked. You're going to take your stuff, okay? Take it. You're going to pack it up. Right? And you're going to take your shit and you're going to leave, all right? You're going to lock the door behind you and you're going to find a man that's going to come to your side of the street. And if you want to know how to get a man on your side of the street, comment join below to join my secret girl chat.
She wants commitment and he doesn't. The answer is simple. They should part ways. Not every man who declines our relationship is playing games. Sometimes he's protecting his boundaries instead of leading someone on. I had a video go
viral and I asked people, why do men not approach women anymore? What happened to those days when men used to approach women? A lot of men in the comments were saying that they felt like women have unrealistic expectations. They don't want regular men, that they only want people they see on TikTok, online, people who are 6 foot and above, that they just are not wanting what's out there. And you want to know what's so crazy? I started this matchmaking service where I matchmake Muslims together for free. And in this platform, people can say what type of partner they want. And let me tell you something right now. These people on the app are serious, they're intentional, and every response that I have seen has never mentioned someone's height. It doesn't even mention looks. All people are saying is, I want a man who loves Allah, someone who has goals, who has aspirations, who is a hard worker. No one said, I want a rich prince. I want someone who's 6 foot and above. Nobody has said that. Nobody has said that. And I've said this before, that people are getting their information from TikTok. We need to get off of social media and stop using this as our Google, because everybody that I'm meeting, everyone I'm seeing, all these accounts, nobody wants all these unrealistic expectations. Everyone's expectations are very realistic. So all the men that felt like they couldn't get a wife because women had unrealistic expectations, what's the excuse? Here's the link. What's the excuse now?
Saying every woman has unrealistic standards. They're saying the social risk in today's dating market is high. That's why many guys choose structured environments over random approaches. Anyway, that's enough for today.